Hello everyone, MsArtGarde here, and today I'm going to go through how to draw a full body. I'm just going to use my character Zip from one of my upcoming comics. And the first thing I do is I draw out guidelines. I'm going to start this pretty much the same way I start all my videos, with a circle for the cranium and then a guideline for the head. I might be making his head a little bit big, so I'm going to kind of shrink it out. And I'm just going to draw on that face shape. And this is all just going to be really messy, and it's just all this is marking down basically the body shape. So don't worry if it looks a little weird, just leave it for now. We'll go back and fix it. And we're drawing very lightly, so if you're drawing this traditionally, you should definitely press very lightly with your pencil. Barely make any marks if you can, so they're easy to erase later. And then I usually draw in kind of the shape of the neck, something like that. And the next thing I do is draw on the shoulders. And I just draw in this very rough shape. Right here, you're going to want to think about, is your character posed in a weird way? Is one shoulder sticking up? If one shoulder was sticking up, you might draw it at that angle, or the other angle if it's sticking up the other way. I'm going to draw it pretty much flat this time around, because I'm going to make her action line a little bit, not a static pose, but not like a difficult pose to draw, in case people are trying to learn to draw for the first time. Okay, so once I just generally put in that shape, I usually put in 2 circles where I kind of want my shoulders to be, and I would sit here and tell you exact proportions and stuff, and you can look up some anatomy studies. But in general, I would say, depending on what your character looks like, I would just go with what looks right and not panic too much, at least in the beginning, about how exactly proportioned your character is. Okay, and then the next thing I usually do is draw an action line. You don't want your line super static and then your body looks really kind of boring, So I would draw an action line just a little bit to draw your guides around. So something that sweeps out. So like maybe she's standing with her back just a little bit arched. You know how people don't stand exactly straight up most of the time. After that, I draw in her upper body here, upper torso in that shape. It helps me follow that guideline. So it's not, like I said, a box. It's more conforming to that shape. Then I usually draw in the hips. And I'm going to draw her hips in just a little bit angled to the side here. I want this to be, she's posing a little bit, even though it's going to be a kind of a static pose. So I draw in her hips, and then I draw kind of where her hip bones will be to help me out. And then, you put in the waist based on that, and you can go in, adjust as you need to. And then the next thing I usually do, as weird as it is, I kind of draw underwear on them. And this is just going to help me with my leg placement. So, imagine they're with underwear, and I just kind of sketch it in like I drew it down a little bit too far the first time. And then I'm going to draw in the legs, but I'm going to go to like a stick figure drawing. So I want to get their placement, and I'm just going to imagine them about that long for the femur. And when I say that long, I mean it's about a little bit less than the whole torso length. And then, if you want your leg maybe to do this, and then maybe this other one is coming down at a bit of an angle, and we'll give her just a tiny bit of a pigeon toe or something. And then we'll have her arm go out, maybe this arm up to the elbow is about waist length, and then this arm can maybe be sitting against her torso, and the other one would be possibly maybe giving like a wave or something. We'll just sketch it out like that. We can change it later if we want. Okay, and then we just want to flesh out these legs and stuff. So I'm gonna put them out like that, and then I'm going to put this one down like this. And what I'm doing is I'm thinking about, like, this is the calf right here, and so on this one you won't see it as much sticking out, but you will see it a little bit. I did give her a pigeon toe. I do think that oddly, if they're posing, pigeon toes look really good. I don't know why. Maybe it's like a weird thing. People in real life who have pigeon toes, it's like a horrible burden for some of them. But yeah, so I'm going to sketch in the shape of the feet last. And then we just want to do the same for her arms. We're just going to make these tubular shapes, tubular, not tubular, tube shapes, and put them in like that. And then we'll do the same over here. I don't want to stick this shoulder. I know my circle goes out a little bit, but I don't want it to go out quite that far. I'll make this general shape here, and then just kind of have the general shape of this. How this is going to look later is that this line is going to go in front. This line of the forearm is going to go in front of that. So I guess I should fix that now before it gets too confusing. I've said in the past, you just refine it and and do whatever you want. I'm gonna draw in the shape of her hand just as kind of this square here to help me. I think I'll probably just give her like a peace sign or something. Now we have our guides down, and if you want to make any adjustments, you're welcome to. I might want to pop her hip out a little bit more this way. Give her just kind of a little bit more of a sturdier pose, I guess. So I'm gonna move it back doing that, and that's probably pretty much. I don't want to make too many adjustments and make this too difficult to follow. So now what I would do, I'm gonna blow it up, and now I'm gonna take a darker color and I'm gonna go over and just, this is my sketch, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna decide how I want to refine it. For instance, we can just draw in the basic features of her face, and I'm not even going to draw these in like perfectly finished off. I'm just gonna sketch them in for now, and then I'll probably come in later when I'm in my inking stage, or just right before I clean it up for the inking stage, and I'll make my final adjustments then. So yeah, some of drawing is just about redrawing over and over again until you have it, but I think that's part of just the experience. So I'm just gonna place the face. No, this isn't like how her nose normally looks, so I might blow it up even more and work on it, but for now I just want to keep going. So we'll place those facial features in, give her some eyebrows even. I might make this a little bit smaller. This might change when I'm inking. I'll show you the final after I've reformed it. I'm going to move this eye just a little bit. And we'll move her neck over a little touch here. And I'm going to quickly add in her hair. Okay, and then I'm just gonna make this quick little adjustment because it's driving me a little crazy. And that's the last time I'll work on her face. Okay, and then it's time to draw in her outfit. And for Zip, she has just a quick little sketch of the outfit, and she's got like a collar here. And I'm gonna erase these lines as I go. And then she's got sort of this leotard. It's sort of a joke thing, but yeah, so you don't have to draw this outfit on that I'm drawing on her right now. Like some shoulder pad things here, and then her leotard or unitard or whatever it is, space outfit goes like this, and we'll put in some wrinkles here at her waist. So we go down. I'm gonna make this color a little bit darker, so hopefully it's visible. So we'll go down here, follow this line, and then right about her waist area, we're just gonna draw on some curves for the wrinkles, just messy like that. There's a lot of different ways to draw wrinkles. You can just draw a single line like that. You can have kind of a bowed line with a curve or a hook or whatever. Usually I draw the outside first and then mark them in, so I'll just leave those there. We'll come back and detail them a little bit later. So then her leotard or whatever goes down, and she has this, goes like this and then up, and it actually, this, I know it's weird, but she does actually have like a bathing suit kind of look, which is another reason I thought maybe go good drawing this, since I basically draw them in a bathing suit to begin with. So we'll bring this area down, and we'll add some more wrinkles here near the waist, and we'll have this go out again, and you know, you can add the wrinkles in. I'll erase some of these lines so it's a bit easier to see what has been applied. I'm gonna move on down and work on her legs. So this leg will come, I think we're gonna have it come down a bit, and then like her knee is here, and then on this side will come down a little bit too, and this is where the dip goes. So this is where the knee would be. I'll erase these lines in a minute, but if you were drawing knees, you'd want this little line or something to designate that that's the knee. And then this line will just come out a tiny bit and then in, and then it'll continue down. And I'm gonna zoom out so you guys can see the whole legs. And then mark your legs. There's a little bit of a bulbous area here where there's, you know, a little bit of meat in your, or muscle in your legs there. Meat is kind of a dark way to put it, I guess. But yeah, a little bit of muscle there, and then it tapers off as it gets towards the ankles. And then there's a little bump here that designates, that's like your bone in your heel. I can't think of the name. I think it has a name. And she's got some boots on. I'll just kind of lay them out in this general shape. Same thing over here. There's a little bump. The boots come out just like that. And then I'm gonna fix this because I see it here already. Just a little bit so it's a little more centered before I draw this leg. And then we'll just generally copy this shape too. I was okay with this leg. She looks like she's a little bit bendy on this part here, but we'll come in just a little bit here because we do want this to be tapered. So this area and the knee actually goes in, even though it seems counterproductive. And then you can draw the knee a bit like that and have the sides come out here and here. If you can see that, I'll draw this down a little bit. So that's a real bony looking knee, but I wanted to show off how a knee would look, you know, even if it's a bit of an exaggerated thing. So we'll have this come down. I'm not going to draw it quite in that severe bend, but that's fine to deviate from your sketch however you want. It's just going to come out down like that. I'm going to move this up a little bit. I messed up the placement just a touch. So let's erase this now, and hopefully you can see my sketch. Yeah, erase some of these original blue guidelines. Zoom out a bit for a minute. I think that looks okay still. I'm happy with that placement. She does have a little bit of that model pose where they stick their legs out, a little over exaggerated, but I'm okay with that. So let's do the arms. So you have an area here that's your armpit. Usually you want to have a bended line in, and then it goes down like that, and you can have this back line, back of her back that's barely showing there. And if she's wearing like clothes, you probably want to add some wrinkles in there. Since you have a bend in the fabric here, you'll have some wrinkles there. So we'll just draw a few like that for now. And let me erase all this actually and then draw it in. So you have the bend here and here, and you can just draw those wrinkles like that. Her elbow will have just a little tiny bump in it. And then you just draw the arm down like that. And you want to give this area a little bit of a bend in, just the meaty part of the arm would be showing just a little bit there. And this will go behind her hip area here. I'm going to actually bring this out and make a little adjustment that way, and then we'll have this go in. So the general idea is her hand will be like this, and then her fingers might be sticking out a little bit like that. You won't see that behind here. Let's bring the wrist in a bit so it's a little more defined here and here. But hopefully you can see, I'm going to erase this, put it behind there in a minute, but hopefully you can see that's the general shape for the hand. And, you know, hands are a whole other ball game. I have some tutorials on them, and I'm just literally going to draw some like little finger shapes in there to remind me that's what I want for this one. And then for over here, we'll draw this down. I'm going to bring this in a little bit, and there's still a little bit of a point to the elbow. And this, I think I talked about earlier how that'll go in, and you can add some wrinkles here if you want for the fabric. Make them a little tighter than I did there. Then draw the hand. So if this is, I know I put a box here, but let's redraw this shape. It's more of like a fan shape where it's tapered here and then it widens here. We can draw the thumb in, maybe like thumb will be here, and that's a little bit bulky. You can think of this as like a second draft sketch, so it doesn't have to be perfect here. So we'll have one finger going out like that and then down, and then like another one. This is like about the webbing area. We'll have another one come out like that and then down, and then we'll have two fingers that just kind of go in maybe like this. And then that will finish off the hand, and I'm trying to erase some of these guides without erasing all the lines I just did. She has a very simple outfit. That's basically it. If you zoom out, you might want to add, I have just a few little embellishes that I add here and here and here, and do the same over here. The boots, I'm going to erase this because she's actually got fabric on. So what I'm going to do is draw a few wrinkles here and here, where the fabric's going to be bunching. I'm just going to loosely put them in, no big deal. And then she's got some boots that come out. So that's the top of the boots. And we'll do the same over here. We'll draw the top of the boots. And then they go down, and you might want to add a few more wrinkled areas here or not. And then you might want to just barely put like a little bit of a boot area here. And then maybe like this one too. We'll reshape it and put the boot area in like that. Or maybe we'll make this on this side and make the, that's the heel. And we'll make it so it's pointing in a little bit more. Okay, so that is the secondary tier of the sketch, and it's not perfect yet. There's still a lot of things I want to change. So I'm going to show you after I've inked it all the little changes that I've made here. And then here it is just fully colored. So hopefully that helped you with the process. One thing I noticed that people, they're just not happy with how the sketch is at first, and they'll just give up on it, but you just keep working with it and you'll get something that you like, hopefully by the end. You know, I'm going to show you the comparison of the sketch to the final. I changed her, you know, waist area. I changed her arms a little bit, and I changed her legs a little bit, and that's fine to make those changes. And then obviously I redid her head quite a bit. Hopefully you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. Have a wonderful day, take care, and I will see you in the next video.